Well, in our last video, we left you with a bit of a cliffhanger when we dropped the bomb and announced that we'd sold our beloved Mini Cooper convertible and shared that we'd be announcing our new vehicle. So that is what this video is about. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It's Mark and Julie from RVLove, and we're here with the news about our new vehicle that we're now towing behind our motorhome. It's exciting to be able to share this with you, but it was also a little bit sad saying goodbye to our Mini. Drive safe, have fun, bye. Stay in touch. Bye. There she goes. Bye, Mini.
I'm actually a little sad. Really would love that car.
Yeah, I'm a little sad too, because we've had so many amazing adventures with that car, and it's so funny how many people just didn't get why we chose to tow that Mini, but it was a damn fun car. And we had amazing adventures together. How many people can say they traveled to 48 states with their car? It's a fun car. I'm a little sad too. But we're over that now and very excited to share our new car with you. You're wondering what it is. Maybe you've already guessed.
Maybe you can identify it from behind us.
Or from the thumbnail of the video.
Maybe that too. But it's a 2015 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk.
We've been talking about changing the Mini out for several months, and it was a lot of back and forth deciding do we, don't we, and we finally decided as we approached the end of 2017 that because we were ready for new changes, new adventures and new experiences, what would that look like, and what have we done and what haven't we done, and what do we want to do to mix things up a bit.
And so when we were getting ready to make a change, we went back and reviewed everything that we did to consider our tow vehicle the first time around, and so that we'd make a great choice the second time around.
Right, so we went through all of our criteria again, what was important to us, and we've already outlined that in the last video. So if you haven't already seen that, we still encourage you to go watch that because there's a lot of awesome footage from all of our travels that hasn't made it to YouTube. So it's a really fun trip down memory lane for you as well as for us. But let's talk about the Jeep. A
couple of those high-level criteria that are really important to us is that Julie and I are drivers. We love to drive. We love a spirited car. We like an adventurous and exciting car. We also like that it has some personality and fun about it. Those are really important to us, and so those are definite criteria that we need to look for in our new vehicle.
And we also want a car that has some performance. I mean, as you saw from the last video, Mark used to race high-performance go-karts. He's a bit of a speed freak. He had a Subaru WRX. And, you know, I've always liked cars with a bit of get up and go as well. Love a good revving engine. So it was important for both of us to have a car that had some real power to be able to put the foot down and just get a little bit of get up and go.
Yeah, that's right. And so the Jeep is available in two different power plant options. One is a 2.4 liter and one's a 3.2 liter. We drove them both, and once we drove the 3.2, there was no going back. So we decided on that one, and it actually gets surprisingly good fuel economy for being such a performance engine and such a larger engine because the engine has a stop-start feature, so it shuts off when you're at stoplights. So we get in the low to mid 20s with this vehicle. That's
it's
not
too bad. It's definitely not as good as the Mini. The fuel economy is definitely lower than the Mini. Noticeably so, but not so noticeably that it makes it not worth having the car. because driving for us is part of the fun, whereas other people may go out and do other entertainment options. For us, just jumping in the car and going for a drive, that in itself, it doesn't even matter where we go sometimes. We'll just go drive for the fun of it. So it was really important for us to have a car that we just had a blast behind the wheel wherever we went.
And it's still a whole lot better than the mileage we get with the motorhome.
That's for sure. So we test drove a few other cars, but really ended up deciding on this because we both really loved it, and it just felt better for me ergonomically. It was just easier for me to drive. So what I love is that it's got two buttons that allow us to preset our preferred seat settings, so when either of us is driving, we can just press the button and make the changes to the seat and the mirrors for the person who's driving automatically. I love that. So it's definitely a little bit more of a step up for me getting in this than the Mini, but it's still completely doable and really mostly comfortable. course, I'm getting in on the uphill here. But if I press my 2 button, you see the seat moving into position to make it really comfortable for me to drive. So some of the things we love about the Jeep, aside from the fact that it's orange and has great power, is we can take it off-road, and that's something we haven't done a lot of before. We tried it with the Mini. As you know, that doesn't work very well because it becomes an expensive exercise and you're pretty limited on where you can go, obviously. We had rented ATVs a couple of times and that was a blast, and we love doing that, and we can still do that, but we wanted a vehicle that we could definitely get off-road some more than we have done in the past and get on a little bit more rugged terrain like where we are right now here in Quartzsite.
But at the same time, we also wanted something that would be really comfortable for a longer drive on a highway, because we still do a lot of that as well.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the last video, one of the things we loved about the Mini is that it was so fun because it drove like a go-kart, but one of the things that wasn't fun is that it drove like a go-kart. And so for longer drives, it did get a little bit more tiring, a little bit more fatiguing, because you're just so close to the ground and you're feeling more vibration in the driving, which for the most part, zipping around curvy, scenic mountain roads and coastal drives wasn't a big deal, but on longer distance drives, it definitely wasn't as comfortable or as quiet as we would have liked. You know, I think we're just getting older. I think maybe that's what it is. We want a few more creature comforts in our life as we get older. That's what I'm finding anyway.
We did.
There were so many other roads that were yet to be explored that we really wanted to get into, and that's what the Jeep is for.
Now the Jeep is definitely heavier than the Mini Cooper, but we are at 4,500 pounds now. But the Mini, between the car and the dolly and a few other things that we would keep in the car and the equipment, it was about 3,600 pounds. So this is about 1,000 pounds more, but still underneath the 5,000 pound towing capacity of our current motorhome.
And we had to drop some more things out of the coach.
We did. Another thing that we were looking for in our next tow vehicle was we wanted it to be a really good vehicle to tow 4 down. So when looking for a vehicle that could be towed 4 down, we were looking for something that had more clearance, and then of course being a vehicle that can be towed 4 down, because not all cars can be towed 4 down. In fact, not even all Jeep Cherokees can be towed 4 down. And I think another one of the reasons why we chose to go with a vehicle that could be towed 4 down is we're so much more invested in this lifestyle now. We know we're in this for the long haul. Yeah. We know we're going to be doing this for many years because we absolutely love the lifestyle, so we weren't afraid to invest a bit more in our vehicle that we know we're going to keep longer term, and therefore makes it more worthwhile to make all the upgrades to do a 4 down setup. Now we're not going to go into too much detail about the 4 down setup on this video. We're going to do a separate video to show you how that works, but just wanted to make the comment that this vehicle is able to be towed 4 down, and we are towing it 4 down.
So just like with the Mini, we were very specific about what we wanted in the vehicle and how it was optioned. We bought this used. It's a 2015. You know, buying a used vehicle, you can only buy what's already out there, and you have to keep your eye out for it, and you never know when it's going to show up. So when this showed up in the week that was really convenient for us to do it, that's when we decided to go for it. It fit all of our criteria, which wasn't easy
extensive.
to fit. Yeah, it was really hard to find a vehicle that met all of our exacting criteria, but when the time was right, it came up, and so we decided to take the leap. So we definitely wanted the orange color because, well, that's just our color. That's the RVLove color. It's fun, it's orange, it's adventurous, and we love that. A sunroof. I was giving up a convertible, and so I was very insistent that we had to have a sunroof, and there aren't that many orange Jeep Cherokee Trailhawks with a sunroof.
And that's not all of it. This vehicle has an amazing sunroof.
Right. Big panoramic window. We love it.
We also wanted to make sure that it had the convenience package that allowed the remote lift for the rear hatch, so that it makes it easy for both of us to reach and close.
He's being kind. He really means for me because he can always reach it. So I can press a button and I can get the power lift gate coming up and down very easily, especially when I'm doing the shopping.
Yeah.
That was important. We love that it's got a bigger back seat, so if we do have passengers, it's much more comfortable for them.
Well, that was hilarious, actually. When we bought this, within 48 hours, we had 3 different people in the back seat of the Jeep, and we had the Mini for 4 years and only had maybe a half dozen people in the back.
I don't think anyone wanted to get in the back. I think that's what it was. Whereas this one, we're like, sure, I'll get in. One of the features that wasn't on our must-have list, but we did end up with this car, is the navigation system. We didn't really think it was an essential. It was a nice to have, but not essential. But now that this does have it, I have to say we love it.
We do. We usually use our phones, and those are okay, but having it inbuilt is a really great feature. And when you're on the road and you're always in a new city, having navigation is a real benefit.
Definitely. So something that we had in the Mini we absolutely loved, and I knew was a must-have in the Jeep, was heated seats, because I love having heated seats and I will not go back. But this one happens to have the bonus of a heated steering wheel as well. That's pretty fancy.
It is fancy.
I like it.
It's very fancy. It's very luxurious, especially when we were in Colorado around Thanksgiving and it was super cold. We loved that feature there. Another feature that we definitely didn't have on the Mini, but we really wanted on this, was the towing package, because I loved the idea of being able to have a bike rack for my bike, but also I wanted it to actually be able to tow a light trailer. So in case we decide to downsize to a Tab or a Casita or something like that, we knew we'd be able to tow it with our vehicle.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny.
I wonder if we'll downsize that much.
That's pretty far.
That's a pretty big downsize.
Be a new experience, though.
It will be a new experience. That's definitely a new adventure. We'll have to give me some time to think about that possibility. I've thought about it. No. One of the other things we thought might be nice is if we're parked outside of national parks in campgrounds that may not be able to accommodate our size motorhome, or we just weren't able to get a reservation, that we could still, if we wanted to, go in with the Jeep.
The vehicle's big enough to carry gear that you could do an overnight or even a weekend away from the RV.
Yeah, so that might be something we end up doing some more of this year too. Yeah?
I thought about that, and yes.
So we love the look of the vehicle as well. I mean, it looks really cool. Aside from the fact that we love the color, it's got really, really nice alloy wheels, tow hooks on the front for pulling us out of really crazy
Let's hope we don't ever
jeeping
need those rescue hooks. But I love all the comfort and convenience of it. You know, the leather seats, and it's really plush and comfortable. And there's just so many creature comforts in it, and it's really nice on a longer drive. I love the interior. Love the exterior, like Julie said. It's fun looking, it's cool, and
it's
you're gonna
us.
it's totally us.
New version of us.
Yeah.
It's the new us.
Yeah.
Mini was the old us.
Yeah.
No.
And it's still part of us.
It is still part of us.
Well, that about wraps up our quick little introduction of our new tow vehicle. I hope you like it, because you're going to start seeing a whole lot more of it in our future videos.
And on social media.
Yeah, but as I think our Mini was probably one of the most photographed Minis ever. And this will probably continue that trend. But we're super excited about it, and we'll be sharing a lot more videos that you'll be seeing this video in the future. But
yeah, you still probably see some videos with the Mini popping up here and there, because we've still got some older content that we may put up from time to time as we go through the year. But yeah, speaking of Minis and juice, we haven't actually named our Jeep yet. It's a Mango Tango Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk that is begging for a name. And you guys have such great creative ideas. We would love to hear what you would call the Jeep, or what you think we would call the Jeep, because we want something that's, you know, fun and reflects the personality and the lifestyle of what we're doing. So what do you think? I don't know, what does it look like? What kind of a name would this Jeep go by? Put your suggestions down in the comments below. We'd love to hear them, and we're going to pick one of yours or another one that we come up with, and
or
we'll
one that it's inspired by yours.
Yeah, something, or maybe a combination of everything. Well, who knows, but love to hear your suggestions on what to call our Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. Let's go hit back on the trail.
Okay, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you on the road.
This one provides a very different experience than the Mini did.